Hello and welcome to today's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be having a look at a puzzle by one of my very favourite constructors. And I was just musing actually before I turned on the webcam. I think this is the only Sudoku constructor from sort of the Cracking the Cryptic era that I've met in real life to date. Obviously there could be more in the future. But yeah, I mean, I've met some people who construct at the World Sudoku Championship and the World Puzzle Championship, but I only went to those championships before Cracking the Cryptic existed. So post Cracking the Cryptic, I think Qodec is the only one. I might be getting that wrong and forgetting someone important, but anyway, Qodec is a delightful chap in real life, and Qodec's puzzles are a complete treat, and this one is called Transmission. Qodec has given us a given digit, which no doubt I will now promptly ignore. And this has a an original rule set. The lines are called Parity Counter lines. And I think what you do is you pick the digits on the end of the line, and these digits give one of the ends of the line gives the number of even digits on the line, and the other end gives the number of odd digits along the line. That's that interesting. That's sort of, I haven't quite got my head around what that's going to mean yet, but this is what we're going to be having a go at in a moment or two's time. I don't have any news for you today, so just a couple of appeals. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe, and that would be great. We don't ask people to subscribe very often. I don't know, YouTube culture suggests we should ask more often, but it's totally free to subscribe. You just click the button, the subscribe button, and that tries to teach the algorithm that people like variant Sudoku, and that would be good. We've got our Patreon, which is I think the best Sudoku club on earth. There's always a brand new Sudoku hunt, as well as extra solves, crossword content over there as well, a couple of bucks a month. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen, and there is all our apps as well. And Qodec has indeed got some puzzles in some of our apps. So anyway, with that said and done, why don't we have a look at the rules to Transmission and see what the great man has in store for us. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply, and that means we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Then we've got these parity counter lines, so the digit on one endpoint of a blue line indicates the number of even digits on the line, while the digit on the other end indicates the number of odd digits on the line. This includes the digits on the endpoints. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a length 6 line. So if that was a 2 and that was a 4, let's just think about this for a moment. So that's going to say one of these is telling us the number of odd digits on the line. So if that was the 4, all of those squares would have to be odd. But if the 4 was telling us the number of even digits on the line, then these would be shared. 2 of these would be odd and 2 of these would be even, because of course 2 and 4, knowledge bomb for you, are both even digits. Gosh, that's really strange, the way those interactions work. And then we've got consecutive pairs. A white dot between two cells means that the values of those cells must be consecutive. Not all dots are necessarily given. So, for example, if this was a 1, that's absolutely fine. There doesn't have to be a dot between these two cells just because these digits are consecutive. It's just where there is a white dot between cells, we know that the digits are consecutive across that domino. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I tell you what I admire about this puzzle at first blush, and that is the symmetry around this diagonal. What do I mean by that? Well, look, if I just draw a line in, actually I shouldn't use blue, should I? Let's use red. If we just draw a line down this diagonal, and you imagine that this was a piece of paper and we folded it along that diagonal. Well, not much. There are breaks in the symmetry, but there's not many. This wiggly line here isn't quite symmetric. It's close. Actually, it is actually close. I hadn't realised that as I said that. But that line, wow, yeah, in fact it's the dots, isn't it? In fact, that dot is symmetrical. that dot is, it's just this dot. Is that really true? I mean, that's really amazing. There is so much symmetry to that. I mean, it's quite beautiful, actually. It's quite beautiful. A very, very, very good setter was talking the other day about how they didn't like the sort of preponderance of excessive rule sets and ugly-looking grids that they viewed as having emerged onto the Sudoku scene in recent years. And I think I might send this one to him, because this one is so ridiculous. Having said which, I haven't really made any progress yet, have I? So how do we do this? We must... So every pair of digits at the end of a line must sum to the length of the line. Okay, so that means that these two little horseshoes here are going to cause a 1, 2, 4, 5 quadruple in box 1. I can see that straight away, because the digits on here have to add to 6, the digits on here have to add to 6, and we can't use 3s because we'd have to use 2 3s. So these are 1, 2, 4 and 5, and this is a white dot. So that digit is, well, it can't be 1, 2, 4 or 5, so it's got to be 3 or 6. And now what should we do? What's that digit? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so right, so the ends of this line have to add to 7, but this top digit can't be 1, 2, 4 or 5. So that's 3 or 6 as well, which means this digit is 1 or 4 to keep them adding up to 7. I've got a 3, 6 pair in box 1 and a 7, 8, 9 triple. There we go. And so far, I've established the parity of absolutely nothing. I know that one is going to be blue. I'm going to use blue for even and O for odd. I'm absolutely sure this is going to be some sort of parity exercise. But so far, I haven't, even though I've got some pencil marks, I haven't actually determined for certain any actual parity. So one of these is a 1-5 pair, one of these is a 2-4 pair. Oh, that can't be 1, because it needs to be consecutive with this one. So if that can't be 1, that can't be 5. Yeah, okay. And whichever one of these is 1-5, let's say this was a 1-5 pair. If the green are a 1-5 pair, then that's saying that there is one digit of either even or odd parity on the line, and the other parity, there are 5 of the other parity, but because there are 2 odd digits, because if this was 1-5, we'd already have 2 odd digits. Okay, so then the even, so we would then know that the 1 was referring to the number of even digits on the line, the 5 was the number of odd digits. But look at this. This is an interesting domino, because what do we know about a pair of consecutive numbers? Well, it's a facetious question really, but one of the digits will be odd and one of the digits will be even. So the even digit that would exist on here, and it's actually the same there, look. So if this was 1-5, again it's the same point. This domino would have to have an even digit on it, and that would be the only even digit on the line. So what that means is that either here or here, there is a domino, an extra domino of oddness, either here or here. It's quite difficult for it. So if this was 1-5, this would be odd, this would be odd, this would be odd. There would have to be an odd digit on this domino. That's 4 odds in the row. There's only 5 odds in any Sudoku row, because obviously in the digits 1 to 9, we're looking at 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Yeah, and there would be another odd here, wouldn't there? These can't both be even. So if this is 1-5, these 2 digits are even. What does that mean? One of these would be even, so there'd be at least 3 evens on this line, which is a length 8 line. I don't really know what that means. I suppose if it's a length 8 line, this domino and this domino are adding up to, they're either going to be a 1-7 pair, a 2-6 pair, or a 3-5 pair. Sorry, pregnant pause while I try and work out what that means. I don't know if that means anything. Again, if one of these was 1-7, it has the same effect or similar effect to if one of these is 1-5. Both of these do have a domino on them, which would force an even digit, and it would be the only even digit on the line. That's if one of these is 1-7. And I don't think... How long is that line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a length 9 line. So those two digits add up to 9. So they consist of an odd and an even number. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. So this consists of an odd and an even number. And this one, that one was length 6, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's... Oh, right, I've got it. Okay, all right. That is absolutely beautiful. This is double 3. That's so clever. It's so clever. Right. So the key thing is we know that these two red squares add up to 6. So imagine they were 1-5. Well, what does that mean for these digits? Both of these pairs now individually couldn't be 1-5. Because if this was 1, obviously they would knock 1 out of here. The 5 would knock 5 and 1 out of here, and we'd end up with 2-2-4 pairs. Well, that can't work. Well, let's try it instead with 2-4. Can that work? No, it's the same. These would both be 1-5 pairs. So what must work? Well, there is one more way to get to 6, and that's with double 3. And that fixes that digit. So that's going to be a 1 to make the line add up. That's a 3. So this is not a... well, this is great. This, by consecutiveness, this can't be a 5. So this is now a 2-4 pair, which means this is not a 2-4 pair, and this is a 1-5 pair. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, we've got loads of stuff in the grid. And, okay, now what we might do is do some parity shading, look. And that one is odd. These two are both odd. These two are, or these three are all even. So there's something going on in column 3. That's even. Let's not forget the given digit. And from here we will argue. Well, yes, this is exactly the point we were looking at on this sort of horseshoe. 1-5. There's already 2 odd digits, so the 5 is counting odd digits. And the 1 is counting even digits. There must be an even digit here, so these are both odd. Ah, there we go. And column 2, well, there must be an odd digit on here. So everything else in this column is even. And that's beautiful because this square's now an 8. It can't be 7 or 9. And now we get a 7-9. Oh, we get a 7-9 pair in the top left of the grid. Those two are odd. There's another odd here. Oh, haha, right. So now, these two squares here, these add up to 8, and one of them is even, so that's even as well by mathematics. Right, so now, if we look at this box a little carefully, we've got 2 evens, another even on the white dot, that's 3 evens. There are 4 evens in the box altogether. So there's 1 even in this conglomeration, this conurbation of digits, and therefore that's the 4th even digit in this column will be within, so these 6 cells must contain all 4 evens, so they've got to be odd, and in fact they've got to be 2-6, don't they, because they can't be 1-7 or 3-5 now, and that's going to mean okay, so the 2 here is referring to the number of odd digits on this line, one of which is here, one of which is here. Okay, can we do something with this? This line is very extreme, isn't it? It's got one of each parity, but in one case, that's the last one of that parity that we're going to see. So if the 6 is referring to even digits, all of these become even. They either all become even or they all become odd. Let's just take a look at that for a moment. Let's have a look at it the other way. Okay, I can't see which of those is forced at the moment. Okay, so let's have a look at the 2-4 line then. The 2-4 line's got, well, it's definitely got at least 3 evens on it, because there must be an even on this white dot. So the 4 is referring to the even count. Yeah, okay, so this is like a domino of this has got 1 even and 1 odd, and this has got 1 even and 1 odd. Let's give those a little colour to indicate that. Yes, that's useful. Now row 2, because this has got 1 even and 1 odd, and this is 2 evens, and there must be another even on here. That's all 4 evens for the row. So this is odd and this is odd. And now we can do the opposite to what we did here. These 2 digits have to both be, oh, nearly. Well, these 2 digits have to both be odd because they're adding up to 8. So this is either 3, 5, which looks quite difficult, or 1, 7. 3 definitely can't go there. So 5 can't go here. Right, I don't know if we can do better than that. I suspect we might be able to. I mean, if this was 1, 7, there's already 3 odds on the line. So there'd be 1 even here, and everything else would be... No, that can't work, can it? I don't think 1, 7 can work. Because if it was 1, 7, the 1 is referring to the number of even digits in here. And that means there must be 5 odd digits in that 6-cell sequence. And then there's a 6th odd digit in box 3. And there are not 6 odd digits in Sudoku. So this has got to be 5, 3. Nearly puts... I nearly get the odd digit that's got to be on this domino. It depends what this is, though. So this is a very even split, isn't it? That's not a very good way of describing it. It's a very, well, it's approximately allocating the digits in a fair way. So we've got, oh, in fact we don't know. Ah, no, we do know. We do know, because there must be another odd digit here on this domino. So that means there's 4 odd digits, at least, on this line. Now, given the split is 5, 3, that means there's 5 odd digits altogether and 3 even digits. So there are 2 evens in this string. Oh, we could have worked that out looking at these. Okay, sorry, that I haven't increased the sum knowledge of the world by looking at this line in that way. It looks like that might want to be a 5, 6 pair. Okay, so what do we do now? That's an interesting question. I haven't got an answer yet. I'm looking. We could... Is there some reason? I mean, if well, 1 is in one of those. If 1 was on this domino here, it would be a 1, 2 pair. I don't think there's a problem with that. 4 is in one of those 3 digits at the bottom of column 2. Wow, I'm totally flummoxed here. I don't know what to do. Oh, I see. Okay, 3 is on this white dot. So this is and it can't be 3, 2. Right, there we go. So that's 3, 4. Okay, maybe that didn't do anything. 8 is now one of those squares. 8 is in one of these 3 squares. This digit is 1 or 5, so that must be over there, which means it's over here. 6, 2, 4. No, 4 is down here. We already know that. I'm not. Again, I haven't quite got to grips with what we do next. 6. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. Maybe I can't get this, can I? I've already looked at this once. I didn't think I could do anything with it. Oh, hang on. Ah, I've got it. Ah, it's beautiful. Oh gosh, I could have done this before. I didn't see it. Right, the point is that those digits are all the same in terms of their parity. So imagine these were odd. If the red cells were odd, then we've got 4 odds in this in this box already. But we know that we've got to have 3 of each polarity on. Oh, hang on. No, okay, I've got this wrong. That's Qodec fooling me. It's actually even that doesn't work, isn't it? Even doesn't work because this is 3, 3, and 3 and 3 are both odd. So the point is that this line, which has to have 3 even digits on it, they all have to live in box 5. And if we add 3 even digits to another 3 even digits, we get 6 even digits for the box, which is far too many. Aha! So it is. This is going to be huge though, because forcing these to be odd. Well, also, there's only 2 odds on this line at the moment, so there's another odd in this congregation of digits, which is all the odds, so that's definitely even. And therefore, what could we do with that? We could... I don't know. Oh dear, please don't get stuck again, Simon. So this is... Okay, that's... Alright, these 2 are definitely even. By Sudoku. I mean, it's outrageous being made to do Sudoku in a Sudoku puzzle, but those 2 digits can't go anywhere. They can't go on the odd cells, can they? So this digit is 4 or 8. This is a 2-6 pair. One of these is a 4 or an 8. Okay, and that's the final even digit in this row. So this definitely cannot be 8. That's got to be an odd digit. These have all got to be odd digits. And this, I suppose we can label this up. This is one of each. Now, what next? You may well ask. Do you think it's this line or do you think it's this line? Don't know. How long is this line? This line is length 7. So these 2 are either 1, 6, which they are not. They're not because 1 and 6 are of different parity in and of themselves. So if this was 1, 6, if you look at these 2 squares, this is 1 of each parity. So the line would definitely have 2 of each parity on it, and the 1 would be wrong on the end of the line. So it's not 1, 6. It's not, oh, I see, it's not 3, 4. So it is 2, 5. Oh, that's just so clever. It's simple. It's simple once you see it. But until you do, it's not obvious. But now, hang on. What does that mean? Because the 2 here is going to be completed by this. So, I mean, if 2 is referring to the number of even digits, this will complete it. So the rest of the line would be odd, which might be fine. But if the 2 was referring to even digits, if odd digits, then these would all be even. Oh, that's nearly difficult in this column, look. Well, it would complete that column. This would be a 4 or an 8. So either way round, that's quite potent. Let me just think about this. Can we... How do we do that? I don't quite know. No, sorry, I haven't got to grips with that. 8 isn't an odd number. 8 goes there. There's another cell highlighted. 8's over here. If it goes there, that's going to force that line very, very much. I'm going to look at that in a moment. I just want to come back over here though and just think about the fact I now know this is even. Has that done anything else? I don't know. That's weird, isn't it? That doesn't seem to have done very much at all. I've got 4 odds in row 4. One of these is a 4 or an 8. That's what plonks 8 up here. If you put 8 on the end of this line, this is a 9-cell line. So that would be 8, and this would be a 1. And that would be a 1 by... Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? We can actually do that by Sudoku. 8 here forces 1 here, forces 1 there, and there's a 1-5 pair stopping that. So that is not 8. This is 8. 8 is even last time I checked. Okay, that didn't do nearly as much as I thought it was going to. Okay. What do we do with that knowledge? Is there anything good we could do with that? I feel it's to do with these 2 digits. I just can't quite see how to use them properly. One of these is a 2, and that 2 is completed. That's what forces these digits to all have the same parity. Now, if that parity was... I don't know. I mean, I can see it being useful either way. I mean, actually, that's another point. If that's 2 and that's 5, then that also completes all of the odd digits in row 4, look. These 2 squares would both be even. So this would be a 2 or a 6. Okay. Sorry, I haven't quite understood what I meant to do now. If that's 2, that's fine, isn't it? If that's 5, is that somehow restricted? Or, oh, no, it's probably to do with 1, isn't it? 1 is in one of those 2 cells. So 1 is in one of these 3 squares. Okay, no, that actually doesn't feel like a very clever thing to note. What about... Do I know what the parity of these is? I know, yeah. Oh, yes I do. This is 2 even. Oh, that's it. I hadn't looked at this, but look. I've got 3 odds, plus another odd, plus another odd. Both of those are even. That's done all of this column, so these are all odd. And in fact, I know what they are. They're 1, 7 and 9 by Sudoku. Which doesn't tell me what this is. But it does. Right, so now we've increased the count of odd digits on this 7th length line. So whichever one of these is 2 is counting even digits. and that will be complete. Yeah, yes, okay, so these are definitely odd in order to get the line to be correct, because we've got our even digit here and it's going to be added to a 2 in one of these. And oh, nearly. This is very close to being forced now. In fact, whichever one of these is 5, look, it's going to be the last odd digit in its box. Oh, that's beautiful. Right, I know how to do this. If that's 5, you can't put 3 in this box at all, because if that's 5, that's the last odd digit. All of these are even. And where are we putting 3 in this box? Nowhere. That won't work. So that's got to be 2. That's gorgeous. That's my favourite step so far. So that's okay. That's even. That's going to be odd, but that's going to make a little 2 by 2 of evens down here. So these digits, well, there's a 2 in this domino now. So there's a 2 up here. Now there's a 2 here, and it must be there by Sudoku because we've got a 2, 6 looking up. And we can therefore say we can't put 1 on this white dot anymore because 2 needs to be low. So this is 1, and 1 is, last time we checked, 1 is an odd digit. So this is odd, which means this is even. And that's not 8, so that is 4 or 6. And can we put 8 on this dot? Possibly. I'm not sure. Here we can use the length 9 line and parity. That's even. So the other side of it must be odd because 2 numbers adding up to an odd number. One of them does need to be odd and one of them does need to be even. And that's done all our odds in column 4. So these 2 purple squares now become even. This becomes even. The other side of the purple squares has to therefore be odd. That's done this column. Those 2 become even. It's just a beautiful puzzle. It's a beautiful puzzle. This square is 4 or 8 by Sudoku. And that's going to mean that square's 4 or 6 by Sudoku. 2, 3, 4. I think we're probably going to have to look at these next, but let me just mull this over for a moment. Yeah, I might as well look at this digit because it's got to be 3 or 5 by Sudoku. Oh, in fact, we know what it is using the 3 here. It's 3. That's 5. So that's the other end of that line is that one. That's 6. That's 2. That's 4. Right. So that's 2. That's 6. We need a 4. The 4 and the 3 go this way round. So that's even. This is odd. That's probably been resolved for a while. I just wasn't seeing it. Right. What does that mean then? We can use this fact to, well, probably, okay, let's think about this line. So what have we got on the line so far? We've got 3 evens and 3 odds. I don't believe it. So these are the same. Is that what we, oh, well, that's fine. I can do that. I'm just going to double check that. 1, 2, 3. 1, yeah. So it's a 3, 6 line. So it's got 6 of one parity, 3 of the other. But at the moment, it divides evenly. So all these have to be the same. Now, if these were all odd, this column would have 6 odds, and that won't work. So these have got to be even. Now we get a W pentomino of oddness in box 9. That completes column 7. So these are both even. That's odd across the dot. That can't be 5 anymore. That doesn't mean this is 5, but this can't be 2. This would be a 1 or a 3. So there's a 2 up here. That's 2. That's 4. Okay, so this is this needs an even digit on it, doesn't it? So the even digit is 6 or 8, which means this square is 7 or 9. We've got a 7, 9 pair in the top row, so these squares are from 1, 6 and 8. That's not 8. That's not 6. Bother. Okay, this even digit is 4 or 6 as well. So if it's 4, this is 5. And if it's 6, this is 7 or 5. 3 is in one of those squares. Let's see if we can do anything with that. 3 is in one of... no, 3 is exactly here by Sudoku. I feel like we've got a lot of 3s in the grid. We do have a... we can do the 3s. There we go. These are 1, 7, 9. This isn't 1, which means there's a 1 in one of these 2 squares by Sudoku. This is a 7 or a 9 by Sudoku. Whoopsie. Let's get rid of that, because we've done 1, 3 and 5 in the box. Now, can we... oh, I've got all my even digits in the bottom row. So the bottom left-hand corner is odd, which gives it the chance to be a 3. Oh no, it doesn't have the chance to be a 3. We've done all the 3s. No 3s in the corner. Okay, so, and we've got... oh, look, these are both even. We've done all our odds in column 1. And we've done all our... no, we haven't done all our odds in row 7, so that's odd, that's even. This is definitely not 4, therefore. Okay, so 2 is in one of these squares. Now if we put 2 here, this square would have to be a 1. What's wrong with that? Anything? Not sure. Can't see what's wrong with that. So let's try something else. There does have to be a 6 in one of those squares, which does put 6 in the corner of the grid. This can't be 6. That's another digit we can shade in, which means that's got to be odd, I think, to correct the count. Ah, this is good. So that's 8 now. This is 1. This is 1 by Sudoku. So there's a 1 in one of these 2 cells. This is a domino of 1. Ah, no, it's not, because that we've got all the even digits in column 9. So that's odd. That's even. That digit is... oh, look, this is all done. 4, 8. You can quite often, with these parity puzzles, once you get them to about this point, they sort of trivialize because they become 2 independent puzzles. You sort of can do the even digits, and there are only 4 of those, and then the odd digits are sort of a separate puzzle, but they are normally fairly tractable if we can get it to that point. Well, the only other fly in that ointment, that's a 6, is whether we've used the white dots properly. That's a 4, so that's a 4, and that's an 8. In this column we've not put 6 in, so these 2 squares are 4 and 8 as well. This is therefore a 4, in fact. It can't be 8 by the column, so that's 4, that's 8. There's no 4 on this dot now. It needs an even digit on it, and that, could that still be 6? Maybe it could. Bother. Oh dear. What about... I mean, it could be asking about what the odd digit is that goes in this square. That might be how we have to do that, but let's just have a quick stare around, see if there's anything simple we can do. We have now achieved the grid in terms of shading, haven't we? This corner digit is a 1 or a 5 by Sudoku in column 1. So if this is a 2, this is definitely a 1. Now if the only other even digit, this could be a 6. And if it's 6, this digit is either, it's not 5 actually, it's 7. Let me just think about that for a second or two in case there's something I can deduce from it. 1, 7 here. I've done a dreadful job of understanding anything from that. Okay, well 9 in this box has to be in one of these 2 squares. I suppose we can note that, which means 9 is in one of those 2 squares. And so this is either 1, 2 or 6, 7. No, I can't see it. Right, so we're going to have to think about something else. What about 5? What do we know about 5? 5 is in this domino. over on this side of the grid, and that means 5 is in one of those two cells, but that doesn't look helpful. Okay, let's try 1 maybe. Can we get a pencil mark or two with 1s? Not. Oh, this is 4. That can't be 7 anymore. I don't know why why did I have 7 in there? Was that catering? What did that digit used to be able to be? Yeah, maybe once I got this as a 4, I could have immediately filled that in. So this is a 7-9 pair. So these digits are 1 and 5, and we know where the 5 goes. So that's 5, that's 1. That's great. So that's coming back over here. Aha! There we are. That's how we're going to resolve everything. Now this has got to be 2, that's got to be 8, that's got to be 6. All of the even digits in the puzzle are finished. And what else do we get? We got a 9 here. We got... What else have we got now? Got lots of... Well, this is a 7-9 pair. So we've got loads of 7s and 9s everywhere. Do we get something from this cell? We get a 7 in one of those two cells. That's absolutely hopeless. Okay, let's try this column. Oh, we've got 7s and 9s again in this column. That gives me a 7-9 pair in this row. That knocks 7 out of this square. So 7 goes up here, which shunts the 1 over, gives me the 1 and the 5, puts 5 in the corner. And now these squares have got to be 5 and 9. And we can put the 5 in and the 9 in. Now those two squares down at the bottom are 1 and 9. Which looks very deadly patternish. It looks like we're going to have to resolve the 7s and the 9s from somewhere else in order to figure this out. Ah, that's 9. There we go. That's going to do it. Because that's going to filter down to the bottom of the grid, give us this all figured out. That's now a 7. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's a 9. That's a 9. That's a 7. And if we haven't made a ricket, that's a 5. What a brilliant puzzle. That is absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful puzzle. 98 people have solved that in 3 days. Do I like it? Yes, very much. My favourite bit of that was... Well, actually, there were several favourite bits. The break-in is very pretty. Well, there's staggering, the symmetry. Absolutely incredible symmetry. But these two digits pointing at these digits is very, very cool. And then the fact that you could work, I could have worked this out much more quickly, I just didn't see it, but the population of box 5 was very doable based off this 1-6 pattern. But then I think my favourite cell was that one, and figuring out that if that was odd, you couldn't put the 3 in the box at all at that point. That was very cute. Loved it. As usual, Qodec comes up trumps. Let me know in the comments whether you had a go and how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.